Hello, my name's Glenn and this is my workshop. I thought I'd have a go at making a cajon. It's a percussion instrument which has a snare spring inside it which makes it sound really interesting. I also thought I'd stick a microphone in mine so it could be amplified. So it all starts with cutting down the plywood. And I will say at this point that I did have to trim down the front and the back panels to make them fit a little later on in the process. Then I added some grooves, slots or dados, whatever you want to call them, so it all slotted together nicely. Just a quick clean up with the chisel there, and then onto the router table to create the slots for the back panel. Quick sand just to tidy up all those edges. Now this is drilling the hole in the back panel. I nearly drilled it in the wrong place. You drill it just a little bit above centre. Apparently that's the best place to give off the best sound. Then switched over to the big hole cutter, flipped it over. My little drill struggled a little bit getting through this, but it got there in the end. I promise you it did get there in the end. Then I added a little round over to the hole. You do have to access through this hole later on, so it needs to be really nice and smooth. So this is working on the drum mic that I'm going to mount later on. I'm just drilling a hole about 45 degrees through a piece of scrap wood at this time. Used an old bit of walnut just for a reference there. Now I'm onto the glue up. The glue up went really smoothly. All those slots made everything just fit together really nicely. It was one of the best glue ups I've ever done. So the following day when it's set, remove the clamps. This is me. I used making the mounting blocks for the snare arrangement. I used 18mm ply here. And it's really important to get all the edges really nice and smooth and rounded over so you can slide the snare arrangement into the two positions so you can change it nice and easily. Just adding an extra piece to the top here just so the lid's got something to screw into. This is the front panel. I marked in about 12mm from the edge. just so I could get a nice straight line to drill the pilot holes on. So once it was drilled, I fitted the lid. And then it was down to sanding. Now this particular instrument you actually sit on to play, so the corners, it's really nice to get them, you really need to get them really nice and smooth and rounded over. There you go, there's the nice round corners. It's nice and comfy to sit on. At this stage, if you put the snare arrangement in, it's actually ready to play. The next is just adding the microphone and any decoration. For decoration, I chose to do the body in black. I used India ink for this process. I then gave it a couple of coats of Osmo at the end. And then on the left there, you see I used my new toy to add a little drum pun to the front. So I'm making the snare arrangement here. This is made of 9mm ply, so the two pieces put together there amount to 18mm, which fits those mounting blocks that I put in there nicely. And these are the snares I bought. One snare does one drum. So I cut the ends off to about 12 centimetres. Just use the tape there, just holds things together nicely while you cut. And there's the snares again. You put them in the vise, they just need a bit more of an angle bending on them. You can do this by hand, it's quite easy. And just a couple of screws in each one, and that's ready to go. So here I'm making, this is a clamp to hold the mic in. So I'm using a proper drum mic here. Stick it through the hole, put the top of the clamp on, screw the bottom of the clamp to the top of the clamp, and it holds it really nice and tight. The leads didn't move one bit once it was being used. I'm just going to put the snares in here, so when it's in, the steels actually need to touch the front panel. So now I think you've heard enough of me, and we'll hand over to my friend Steve and we'll see what it sounds like. Thank you.